Welcome to your 15-minute neck mobility routine. I'm Shane, obviously, Shane Warne Fitness. First things, before we get into it, I want to make sure you're not going to hurt yourself while you do this. If you've been following me, you've found this, you're probably dealing with some chronic pain. You probably had it for years. And I want to make sure that, obviously, it's the neck. We're going to make sure that we don't make this worse as we go, which is a really common issue with people with chronic pains. So first things first, they're going to be 6 or 7 really simple exercises just to sort of get some movement and mobility through your neck. But I want to make sure that as you do this process, you're going to be doing it with a pain-free range of motion. You're not going to try so hard that it hurts. You're not going to feel pain and then just fight through it. So everything we do is a pain-free range of motion. But also there's a couple of differences here with some pains that are okay and some pains that are not okay. So I just want to make sure as we go through the first exercise we do as an example is going to be a neck controlled articular rotation. We're moving our neck through its fullest range of motion. So you're going to flex your neck, you're going to rotate, come out to the side. Now, as I come out to the side, this is what's called a closing angle pain because the side of that joint is getting smaller, right? I'll show you from the side. What I mean is if I do this, then this side's getting smaller, this side's getting longer. Now, when I can't go anymore, I actually feel a stretch on this side because the tissue's stretching, that's good. But if I feel a pinch here, I don't want to feel that. So as you're going through this motion, if you get to here and there's a bit of a pinch, kind of just go around it. Or you can sort of tick-tock back the other way, but just go around, don't push through pain. One more thing I want to point out here. I've been noticing on social media, YouTube, Instagram, all this kind of, the amount of people that are saying, hey, here's 5 exercises that'll fix your neck. Bullshit. If you've been in chronic pain for years, there's no magic exercise that's going to fix you, period. Assuming you've actually tried something. Like if you've never actually tried to do anything and 5 years later you decided that, you're sick of being in pain, you want to do something about it, then yeah, maybe those 5 exercises that'll magically fix it. But it's not because those exercises were great, it's just because you started moving again. But if you're someone that's been trying to fix your pain for years, there's no magic exercise that's going to fix it. The magic thing that's going to fix you is actually getting an individual assessment to determine exactly what is going on and then a plan to fix that, right? So this is, look, to be honest, probably going to be really beneficial for everybody. Is it going to fix everybody's pain? No, I'm not a goddamn magician. If you go through this and you like what you see, you like how you feel, then whatever, shoot me a message, shoot me a comment or go to my Instagram page, ShaneWarne_fitness. Send me a message there. We'll have a chat and see if it's something that you want to go through the process of actually figuring out your pain. But with all that said, we're now going to get into your workout. So the first thing we're going to do is what's called a neck controlled articular rotation, as I said. So your neck flexes. So from the side, it flexes, it extends, it rotates, and it side bends. So we're going to go through this full range of motion. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to flex your neck. What I'm not doing though is I'm trying to flex and elongate my neck. What I'm not doing is just dumping at the base of my neck here and keeping my neck straight. I want my neck to flex. So I'm going to flex the neck, keep that flexion, going to rotate to the side. I'm not bending yet. Now that I've rotated, I'm going to keep the rotation and flexion, add a little bit of a side bend in there. Then I'm going to come around to extension and then rotate around to the mid. But once again, I want to feel a stretch through the front of my neck here. I'm not just dumping back, because then I'm just cramping everything at the back. I want to feel a good stretch here. And then I'm going to rotate around, add a side bend in, and then come around to the front. So this is the starting position. I'm going to reverse direction. I'm going to keep that flexion, add some rotation, bit of a side bend, come around to the back. Big stretch along the front, keep this as long as possible, rotate, come back around, boom. 2 of those ones, please. Next thing we're going to do a scapular controlled articular rotation. So if you can't move and control your scapulars, then you're going to have issues with your neck. Probably going to have some headaches, some upper back issues, like lots of things, shoulder issues as well. Super, super, super important for these things to work. They move up, down, forward, back, right? So what we're going to do is you're simply going to, standing sideways, arms straight down, you're going to lift the scaps up, then you're going to move them forward. This isn't exactly how they work. They kind of move in a diamond. We're going to pretend they work in a square just to, I feel like that cueing leads to doing it properly a little bit more accurately. So you're going to lift them up, then you're going to keep them up as you push them forward. So you're going to hit that top sort of forwards corner. You're going to keep them forward as you slide down, keep them down as you slide back, keep them back as you slide up, and then you're going to reverse direction. And you're going to do 2 of those. Couple of things here. One is, I say forward and back. It's protraction, retraction. But just from a mental cue perspective, they don't really move forward and back. You know, scaps don't actually move forward and back. There's a rib cage in the way. They actually slide in and out. So when you're going forward, think about them sliding out and then sliding in. And one other thing is just make sure your arms are here. So instead of, as your scaps go forward, don't want the arms out there. Arms stay there, forward, back. So once again, up, forward, down, back, up, and then reverse. And you do 2 of those ones as well. These ones, you're doing at about a 30% intensity, which just means your body's not like super loose, but you're nice and upright, you're nice and tight, giving yourself a little bit of stability, a little bit of resistance through your own body as you go. The next thing we're going to do is an isometric hold. So I've got a list down here of what we're doing, so just my memory is not as good as my body is. What I've got here is I've got a band attached up here. If you've got a resistance band, that's awesome. Absolutely use it. If you don't have a resistance band, that's okay. You just put a strap up there, like I've used a jiu-jitsu belt before. You can use like sort of anything for this. But all you're going to do, you want this at about head height. Just move forward. Put it around the back of your head, just at the crown of your head, just at the top of your ears, as you can see. And all I'm going to do here is I'm going to elongate my neck, same as what we were doing with the neck flexion. I don't want to sort of dump forward. I'm going to add a little bit of flexion. I'm going to I want to feel a bit of a stretch through the back of my neck here. And then I'm going to hold this position, just to isometrically hold it. So I'm just going to hold it as I move back. And then that's going to keep the tension on. So I'm not trying to like fight into it. I'm just trying to hold still as I come back. And all you're literally going to do here is hold it for 2 minutes. You just want this intensity, once again, at around about a 30% intensity. Couple things I want you to focus on here, though, is these scaps, these elbows, not elbows, shoulders, these scapulars, keep them down. Everything will have a nice big stretch through there. And just make sure that you're not just letting this go kind of relaxed like that. Tuck the chin and heighten. Imagine you've got a bit of string here at the crown of your head, like lifting you up, and you're tucking your chin at the same time. Get a big stretch, and then just walk back and get a little bit of resistance there. Over the course of the 2 minutes, if you want, you can just rotate really slowly, so you start getting some side bits in there as well, rather than just directly backwards. But whichever feels good, I'd suggest you start here for the first time. You're going to do that for about 2 minutes. Oh, that actually feels amazing. Next one we're going to do is we're going to do what's called a hinge point. So it's going to look like I'm not really doing anything, and it's also maybe the most frustrating exercise you've ever done in your life. All we're going to do is you're going to lay down, you can lay down on the floor. I've obviously got a bench here. And what you're going to do is you're going to put your finger on each of your vertebrae or thereabouts, and you're going to try to just move that vertebrae. I'll show you what I mean. So I'm going to lay down here. All I'm going to do is just get in a bit of a neutral position here. Put my hand underneath and then just push with one finger into my neck. See if I can just feel a vertebrae there. All I'm going to do now is I'm going to try and keep everything else perfectly still, and just that one vertebrae, or it might be 2 if your finger's like in a disc at a vertebral joint. You're going to try to lift it up, so that would be extension, and then flexion is pushing down into it. But you're just trying to move one vertebrae, or exactly the point where your finger is touching. So it's not going to move so much that it's going to come off your finger. All you're trying to do is, as you lift up so you extend, you're just trying to alleviate the pressure a little bit in that finger as much as you can, without everything else kind of moving along the way, and then push back down into it just with that bit. Up, down, up. And then you do that at just kind of probably 3 different spots. So you can start at the top, middle, and then bottom, or bottom, middle, top, whichever one. and just spend like 20 seconds at each one and just trying to feel those little bits of your vertebrae in your neck actually moving. Next thing that we're going to do is going to be called supine spine cars. So, not spine cars, neck cars. We started with a neck controlled articular rotation, exactly the same thing. This one you do need a bench for. So what I'm going to do is lay on it, move up just so my head can actually hang off the side. And I'm going to do a normal neck controlled articular rotation. From here, I'm going to come into flexion, going to rotate to the side, a bit of a side bend, and then I'm going to come around to extension. Really important here, I'm not just dumping my head. Once again, I'm getting a really big stretch through my neck. Rotate around to that side. Side bend, coming around. Once again, I'm not just dumping forward at my neck, I'm elongating my neck here. To the left, side bend, coming around. Boom. Just do 2 of those. For some people, this one may be a little bit advanced because your head weighs quite a bit. So just play that by ear, like to see how it feels. If you feel comfortable and safe, have a go. It's really, really nice. You might get some really good cracks out of that too. And then we're going to do the opposite. So just a prone neck car. I'm doing this on a bench, but you can do this on the floor really, really simply. Doing it on a bench, same thing. Just come over to the side, flexion, rotation, side bend, coming around to extension, rotating to the left, side bend. If you're not on a bench and just on the floor, I'll pretend this is the floor. Obviously, your head can't do that. So just literally come up onto your elbows, just like this. It'll hold your, obviously, your shoulders up. And then, so from here, flexion, rotation, side bend, coming round into extension, extension, big stretch through the front, rotate to the left, come around, back. And do 2 of those. And then we're going to finish with another couple of neck cars, which is the exercise we started with. But when you come to this one, just pay attention to how it feels. Does it feel a little bit different to how it felt when you did it the first time 10 minutes ago or 15 minutes ago? So I'm just going to do it seated because I'm seated. You can do it seated, you can do it standing. It's completely up to you. So I'm just going to get some flexion, elongate through the neck, rotate to the side, add a side bend in, coming around to extension, big stretch through the neck, rotate to the left, side bend, coming around to flexion, keeping an elongated neck, rotate back the other way, boom, and do 2 of those, and then you're done. One of the really big key things with, I was going to say neck pain. It's not really neck pain. It's neck pain. It's hip pain. It's low back pain. One of the keys is always that most people can't use a lot of their tissue. They can't use a lot of their joints. Their whole neck will move as one. There'll be sections of their low back and their spine that'll just move as one. The hips kind of don't move properly. When things don't move properly, or certain parts don't even move at all, like you'll find when you did that, there might be certain parts you can feel your neck moving and other parts you can't. Same thing happens through your spine. Some people will be able to move their lumbar and not their thoracic. And the problem is when you can't move certain parts, there's 2 main issues. One is something else has to compensate. And that's not really that big a deal if it's a short period of time. But if it's, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, that really starts to add up. And now things are doing things they're not supposed to. But also, if there's parts that you can't use, like imagine what your bicep would look like if you hadn't used your bicep in 10 years. Like, it looked like my granddad's bicep. And he's dead. Like, it would atrophy. It's nothing else. Like, if you don't use something for a long enough period of time, it atrophies so bad that it's... So all of the tissues that control your neck, that control your scapulars, that control your spine, your hips, your shoulders, all those things, if you can't use them, that's what they look like. So if you were to look at the inside of you, all this tissue is shit. So a lot of the time, a lot of chronic pain is created by a chronic tension. The problem is that tension is usually not the problem. The tension might cause the pain, but the tension is actually a protection mechanism against another problem. So like if your neck doesn't work properly because the tissue you haven't used in 15 years, or your scapulars don't move and your nervous system knows that this is a problem, it has to protect your neck. So what does it do? It just contracts around there to protect it. But then you go get a massage or a chiropractor visit or something like that, and they say, oh, no wonder you're so sore, look how tight you are, and they alleviate your tightness. But what they might very well be doing is actually just getting rid of your body's ability to protect itself, which is why an hour later, a day later, a couple of days later, it's all back again. And that's, once again, that's fine because pain management matters. However, if this is something that happens for a year or 5 years or 10 years or 20 years, well, that's a problem because one, you keep telling your body that you keep taking away its ability to protect you. Eventually, it's just going to have to protect you harder. So it just holds on tighter. So now we create this escalating effect of like it's a little bit tight, we have a massage, a little bit tighter, we go get a chiropractor, and this goes on forever. So we can actually make it worse by taking away its ability to protect us because it just has to hold on tighter then. But even a much simpler thing is if something is broken or something doesn't work properly and you keep using that thing but you don't fix it, it gets worse. Right? That's not a human body thing. That is an everything thing. You know, the hinge on the front door, your car, your teeth, like it doesn't matter what we're talking about. If something is a bit broken and you just keep using it without fixing what's broken, you're gonna make it worse. You'd never do that with your car. You know, if there's a rattler or something, you're not like, I'm just gonna keep going. Like if the flash, the warning light goes on the dashboard, you're not just going to think, oh, I'm just going to take the light out. No, you go fix the problem. So what you're doing with your body every time you go and have a massage or a chiro or whatever, assuming it's been for years, all you're doing is masking over a problem. But not only are you not fixing it, you're continuing to use your body without fixing it. Therefore, it's making it worse. So anyway. I know I went off on a whole tangent and bit of a diarrhea spew there, but I think it's just really important because we see a lot of people on Instagram, on social media, website, like ads, like everywhere saying, oh, you know, do these 3 exercises, like you'll come back. Like bullshit. If you've been in pain for years, that's not the case. You really need something that's going to figure out exactly what you need. Now, is this little 15-minute thing going to be good for you? Absolutely. Will you feel better for it? Absolutely. Well, almost definitely. Is it going to be something that's completely fixing all of your issues? Probably not. But have a go. Have a go a couple of times. See how it feels. If you like what you saw, give me a follow on ShaneWarne_fitness at Instagram. And if it is something that you know you actually take this seriously and it's important enough for you to actually get a program and get assessed and get a program to figure out exactly what you need to actually become pain-free, enjoy your life, get your freedom back, then pop a comment below or send me a message in Instagram. Chat to you then.